Hey everyone, welcome back to the MACRS Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, June 9th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for joining with us and tuning in again this week. Now, before I get going, let me first remind everyone that this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we will be holding a virtual Tele-Town Hall meeting. These are MACRS Retirees member-only events. The meeting kicks off at 1 o'clock. It will contain an update of our legislative program, the COLA, retiree health insurance benefits, Social Security, weapon GPO, as well as what's happening with Medicare at the federal level. Kind of a catch-all update, if you will, for our members, and a little bit of a deeper dive than what you might find in the newsletter. Our Tele-Town Hall meetings also enable our members to ask us questions. So we're going to spend about half the meeting giving an update to everybody, and then the other half of the meeting we'll be taking questions from our members and trying to talk about some of the things that you may have in mind, and looking forward to feedback from all of you. Now again, the meeting gets going at 1 o'clock Eastern Time this afternoon. There are two ways in which you can participate. The preferred method is for you to receive the automated phone call at the start of the meeting at 1 o'clock. It will be a robocall from me. All you need to do is answer the phone, stay on the line, and you will be automatically connected to the meeting. Now, if you have your telephone number, whether it's your home, landline, or cell phone number on record with us, you will get that phone call this afternoon. If for some reason you don't have your phone number on record with us, there's a second way you can connect to the meeting. It is by calling the toll-free dedicated Tele-Town Hall phone number. That phone number is published and printed on the back of your MACRS Retirees membership card. Now, we don't provide the number through the videos and the weekly messages and in the newsletter because quite honestly, this video is going to be published on YouTube and on Facebook for everyone to see. And these are MACRS Retirees members only events. You have to be a member of our association in order to participate. So if you're watching the video and you're wondering why you're not receiving our weekly email message or the newsletter or an invitation to participate in these different events, that's most likely because you're not a MACRS Retirees member, but we would love for you to join. You can join online through our website at macrsretirees.com. Right in the right-hand margin, there's a way for retirees to join. There's a way for active employees to subscribe to our newsletter, which also provides the ability for active employees to participate in our meetings because they're informational resources just like this video. Now, this week we held our final in-person area meeting for the 2022-2023 meeting schedule. And as I mentioned last week, we treat our meeting schedule kind of as a season, as a sports season, in which begins in September with our annual business meeting, which I believe is occurring on Friday, September 22nd this year. So that will kick off our 2023-2024 meeting season. This Wednesday, we held our final in-person meeting on Cape Cod. That coincided with the annual spring conference of the Mass Association of Contributory Retirement Systems, MACRS, as it's known. MACRS represents all of the 104 public retirement systems here in Massachusetts, from the state and teacher systems all the way down to the 102 local retirement systems. They do a fantastic job of educating and informing their members and engaging them in both the spring and the fall conferences, providing continuing education credits for retirement board members. We are very grateful for the ability to participate in these conferences. Both Nancy McGovern and Tom Bonarigo participated in the MACRS legislative panel on Monday morning, which was very informative. But Frank Valeria, myself, and our treasurer, Joe Connerton, and a host of our executive board members who also serve on local retirement systems were in attendance at the meeting. And that carried over to Wednesday for the MACRS Retirees meeting, which also took place at the same hotel in Hyannis. We had a tremendous turnout. We had well over 150 to nearly 200 members in the meeting. This has been, or was, the largest meeting that we have held, with the exception of our annual meeting, since the beginning of COVID-19 in the winter of 2020. And so I cannot be more thankful for those members who have taken the time to come to one of our area meetings in the recent past And it's just really a delight to be able to interact with all of you face to face, and get to know some of you personally, put a name to a face to someone that I may have interacted with over the phone or through email. And it's really one of the highlights of this position, is being able to get out there in person and interact with our members. And we're going to continue to also hold our Tele-Town Hall meetings to provide the opportunity for all of our members, regardless of your ability to get out and physically attend a meeting, or perhaps you're living in another part of the country and cannot physically get to the locations that we're holding these meetings. So beyond that, the retirement conference this week also gave us the opportunity to interact with local retirement board members who really have been the boots on the ground, if you will, in the adoption of the additional 2% COLA. As we have been reporting, we now have 63 local communities in retirement systems that have fully adopted the additional 2% COLA for FY23. Now, there have been approximately 75, 76 retirement systems that have adopted the additional 2% COLA. But of that number, 63 local communities have also voted to fully adopt it. And it's a two-step process. The retirement board initiates it, and then the local government, because of Proposition 2.5 and the legal requirements that cities and towns must approve additional or new costs. The state just cannot mandate things, unfortunately. It would make everyone's life a lot easier if that were the case. But that's not the way that the law works here in Massachusetts. We have to have some degree of local involvement and local approval. But 63 of the 102 local retirement systems have fully approved this new benefit. Now, we are working closely with 9 or 10 or 11 retirement systems and local communities to try to get over the hump before the June 30th deadline for this law to be accepted, because once July 1st rolls around, the deadline has come and gone, and the 2% additional COLA can no longer be adopted for the communities that haven't yet adopted it. So the Retirement Board Conference gave us a good opportunity, first of all, to thank those retirement boards and retirement board members and staff who really went the extra mile over the past year to make sure that not only the board approved the additional COLA, but also took the bull by the horns and made sure that the local community also took it to the next step of the final adoption. And it made all the difference in the world. And it's important that we thank our local retirement board members because, again, they went above and beyond, and they continually do so. Now, we're working with 10 or so systems. I'm trying to get this over the hump over the next few weeks. Today's email message from me contains the full list of the communities that we're working in, trying to get this approved before the end of the month. 2 of them are county systems, both Hampden County out in the Central Mass and Springfield area, as well as Plymouth County down on the South Shore. We are engaged with the local retirement boards and their chairman in an all-out effort to get this additional COLA approved. Now, what we are asking of you as our members, if you happen to live in one of these communities, we are asking that you contact your local government officials. So whether it be the Board of Selectmen or the City Council or the mayor, depending on which system we're talking about, and ask them to do right by their local retirees. Now, one misconception from some local officials is that this would cost some additional money to the ongoing budget or for next year's budget. That's not the case. There is no additional appropriation required for the local government to adopt the additional 2%. It will be rolled into the pension funding schedule. This is a one-time payment only for FY23, and just like every other COLA benefit, it becomes a permanent part of a retiree's pension. It will not reoccur for FY24. FY24, we will go back to the standard 3% COLA, not the 5% that was a one-time authorization for FY23. It has long been a key component of the work we do here at Mass Retirees, and a bit of a tradition that we take an all-for-one, one-for-all approach when it comes to all public retiree benefits. We have to stick together. We have to stand up for one another. And it doesn't matter if you are retired from a community in Plymouth County or in Hampden County or up in Woburn or some of the other communities that we're working in. The most important thing is that if you live in these communities, that you're sticking up and standing up for your local retirees and asking your local officials to do right by local retirees. As all of us know, the Social Security COLA has been a lot higher than what we are able to obtain on the public pension benefits over the past 2 years. In 2022, Social Security paid a 5.9% COLA. For FY20 or for 2023, the Social Security benefit was 8.7%. So it far exceeds any of the COLA benefits that are being applied to public pensions. And that's an important point to remind our local officials of. Everyone else who lives in those communities who's a Social Security recipient receive the full COLA on their full Social Security benefit. But because public retirees or public employees do not participate in Social Security, many of our members, even if they qualify for Social Security, received a far reduced benefit because of the windfall elimination provision. And under the government pension offset, many retirees do not receive any Social Security benefit at all. So the public pension is really the primary, if not sole, source of retirement income, which makes the cost of living adjustment that much more important. So contained within today's email blast that is sent to all of our members, and it will be posted on massretirees.com later on Friday, will be just a list of bullet points, talking points for our members to share with your local officials if you do take the time to contact, again, your mayor, your city council, your select board, and urge them to adopt the additional 2% COLA before the end of the month. Now, the last thing I want to touch on just very quickly, the July newsletter, The Voice, is at the printer as I speak. It's being printed here in Massachusetts like it always is by Standard Modern. They're a fantastic union print shop on the south coast of Massachusetts down by Fall River in New Bedford. That newsletter will be mailed to all of our members starting early to mid next week. So hopefully by the time you get next week's message, the newsletter's in your hand. So I just wanted to flag that for everybody. Again, it's chock full of very important information and news, which many of those subjects we're going to cover at today's Tele-Town Hall meeting. So with that, let me sign off for today. Again, if you can join us this afternoon for the Tele-Town Hall event, the more the merrier. We look forward to interacting and taking your questions, and we will be back to you again real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.